Action. Oh no, he said it. He said it funny. Something terrible. Good. I'm just gonna too much chips on it. Ooh, who did it? Damn. Alright. Let's do this. Without further ado, let's continue. That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. To suddenly claim there was another person at the scene of the crime like that. I must ask. Well now, I think you would know the answer to that. Being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I have not time for mysteries. I'd only ask that you leave the defense to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Christoph. Justice? Yes, sir. The judge has summoned me to his chambers. Oh yeah, forgot about that. So carry on without me. You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure! That locket you're wearing, is that really yours, Mr. Wright? You're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket? Here, you take a look at this. That's a picture of my daughter there. Aww. It is definitely a child, and she is definitely a girl, presumably his daughter. I'm just surprised to hear you have a daughter. Most people are, perhaps. You'll meet her one of these days. One more question. The one who cheated that night was you? What do you think? Huh? You know what happened 7 years ago? What I did? It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat. I never... Honest, but... It is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. Eh? You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. In that way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker is like a trial court. Oh, okay. I think so, Mr. Wright. Figure out what your opponent is thinking and you'd win. Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds. I think not. Oh, what? Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable source of information. I forgot, this is where you learn about body language. You're kidding. That witness, for instance, Miss Orley, they have tells whenever they're lying. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? No. Come on, who'd notice that? Words, habits, twitches, it's all information for the reading. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on to you. But I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on those signals. No, you can do it. Huh? You just don't know it yet. What's he talking about? But you will, soon. Almost forgot, one more thing. About this case, you should know I haven't told the truth to anyone yet. What? I knew it. I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there defending me. I need you to power. My power? I had no idea my cords of steel were that special. It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best. The real trial begins now, boys. To be continued. I literally just took a break before the to be continued. Alright. Let's do this. On to the next, on to the next, I say. On to the next, on to the next, I say. April 20th, 12:14 p.m. District Court number 2. Court will now reconvene. Has our witness, Miss Olga Orley, recovered? Yes, Your Honor. Well, she regained consciousness. Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again. That's the thing, you see, she's quite fatigued. You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss Orley take the stand. Very well. The witness will take the stand. She's back? Oh man, she's shivering. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession. Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser. Not. Whoa! Name's Olga Orley. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. Whoa! People call me Olga Quickfingers Orley. Do not remember this. Oh, really? Want to know something? She's kind of cute. I hope she's. Let's check something real quick before I. 21? Yeah, we can say she's hot. She's hot. And my last name's like, oh really? Orla Orley. Orley. I see. There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied. Witness, you will tell the court what you really saw that night. Fine, I'll talk. We get a plan, see? Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrication will have serious consequences. Fine. Fine, she says. Fine. I'm a pro. That guy, Smith, hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Borscht Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game as a waitress. You were in cahoots with the victim. Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles, but winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple. Elliot, really? You see? We set up a prep of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. And then pull out the planted card, and the trap would snap shut. You swap the cards. Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it, it would have made a great double player. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Indeed, getting caught red-handed at cheating would cost double in all his prior wins. A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. Oh really, Orley? How droll. But it appears you made quite the mistake. A mistake? I agree, the trap was elegant. Yet, what happened to that planted card? Hey, that's right. He's lucky, I'll give him that. You'd have to be slipped free from a trap laid by Olga Quickfinger Orley. Oh really? Man, everybody's just saying, oh really? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick. Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute. I'm bad. You hear me? Bad. She's bad to the bones. That's right. She is bad. She's a baddie and a half. Ooh, she's a baddie with a fatty. Don't know if she got a daddy, but really. Oh, really? I want you. Oh, really? Really badly? When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court. Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung. Ooh. So she has tells, right? Let's pay attention to how she touches herself, maybe. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to, and Wright lost his last hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. Bum 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 bum. But the plant card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith. It was that no-good cheating defendant. Okay, let's look for a tell. Surprisingly frank testimony that still feels as most in danger. Trap was perfect, tell you. The trap was perfect, I tell you. Perfect. If that rotten cheater hadn't messed it up. Look who's talking. Well, the testimony for what it's worth is all yours, Mr. Justice. With witness like her, who needs criminals, and with a defendant like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors. The best laid trap. Alright, let's look for one of those tells. Aha, she touches the back of her neck when she lies. The next moment, picked up a bottle and slung it. Wait, isn't that a little odd? What's odd? You searched Mr. Ryder thoroughly and found nothing, which means he didn't cheat, which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well, ooh. What? What was that just now? I sensed something. Something wrong, Mr. Justice? No, nothing, Your Honor. What to do? Should I press her a little harder? Yeah, let's press her a little harder. Huh? Miss Orley, you're hiding something. What are you talking about? Me? Quick fingers? Orley? She is stuttering like a monster. The defense would refrain from baseless accusations. I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. I did see it, honest. I saw it when Mr. Wright hit him. Look at her touching the back of her neck. With my eyes, I saw it. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? That witness, for instance, Miss Orley. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? There it is, touching her neck, was it? Zoom in on her boobs. Whoa, what's going on? This sensation, it's coming into focus. There, that twitch, it's so clear. Ugh. It's like I could perceive her habits like I couldn't before. Perceive with the X button. Gotcha! Gotcha! Oh, that's a cool sound effect. Gotcha! Miss Orley, perhaps you are unaware of this yourself. I'm trying to get rid of this noise. And no, it's possible. There we go. Nope, I just got rid of it entirely. I'm so close. My neck? So what? So what? When she says the part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it. A memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about? This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim to witness the remark remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of the memory to show us. Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she lies about the moment of her crime. So what would remind her mostly of the memory of the crime, moment of the crime? Miss Orley, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I've noticed it happen when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an inerasable impression on your neck is... Was it the murder weapon? Hold up. The weapon that left an... Oh, so obviously we're talking about a weapon, so obviously the bottle. Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. What reminds us more of the moment than this bottle, it's a murder weapon. But something doesn't fit. If you were only the witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain? What's he talking about? It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit, not you. Huh? This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. The witness habits, they're completely irrelevant, Justice. I'll admit, I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain then. Just trust me. Now's our only chance to break her. Miss Orley, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment. Yet. Oh, she put back on the costume. I'm knowing nothing. We know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please, now. Takes off the costume. Bah, fine. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there. Different personality, but the same testimony. I believe you have her there. You want her justice. Do I want her? I think I want her. The circumstances have changed, yet her testimony is not. That means there's gotta be a contradiction in there somewhere. White. That night I planted the cards like I was supposed to, and Wright lost lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to. So wait. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there. Let's look for another statement. The planted card was gone. I feel trapped. Surges in the night time. One more time, let's look right here. You're hiding something, and that habit of yours is proving it. Ha, ludicrous. I'm not hiding anything. You touch your neck again? Ah. Not. He's trying to hide it. I can see right through you. He's the one who did it. I did not let him out of my sight until the cops got there. You seem uneasy. You try standing up here. Her eyes are darting all over the place. I must be getting warm. Tell me, after the crime, what was the defendant like? Well, he must have been stunned by the weight of his crime. He sat in a daze at the table until the cops came. Intriguing. I believe you've gotten all the testimonies you're going to witness. So what do you think about it? Oh, you think... I'll tell you what, I think her testimony is flawed. It is flawed. His base is bogus. It contradicts the evidence. Show the evidence, Mr. Joseph. The evidence that claims the contradiction of the testimony. Didn't let me out of the sight until the cops got there. No, there's some evidence that contradicts that. He did leave and go... He left and took a phone call, didn't he? Miss O'Reilly. We have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made the phone call from the first floor of the Borscht. So explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. Whoa. Whoa. Where did that food come from? Cool sprite animation too. The man who picked up the bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant. Wasn't the defendant? Well, who was it then? Showdown time. You dirty cheat. Check his pockets now. It's gone. The card's gone. You lose. Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to me. Right, and he hit me. He hit you? You, some master of cheating you turned out to be. Eek. When I came to, the victim was already dead. Is that it? That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. Came out that I was in leagues with Smith, I'd be suspect for sure. Well, where does this leave us? Madness. This is madness. I'm dreaming. It must have been me who was hit with the bottle and imagined all of this. It appears our prosecution is at his wit's end, and frankly, I can't believe him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events? What the fuck does Gavin have to do with any of this, bro? I'm the one on the fucking stands right now. He's just partner in crime in this bitch right now. Mr. Gavin, sir, I believe that as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss Orley a big fat liar. What? 3 were in the room the night of the murder. The defendant, victim, and her. And she has a motive. A motive? Her plot foiled. The witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the denominant of the argument was murder. I'm not a killer. It's a trap. Someone trying to frame me. I agree. Ooh, Mr. Wright. Tangled webs are we weaving when we practice to deceive. So tangled we catch ourselves in the process. Mr. Wright, such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph, Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibilities that there was another person in the room at the night of the murder? Right. Like Mr. Wright was saying before recess, a single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder, and then one who swapped the card didn't know 2 colors of the cards were even there. A 4th person. This theory again. Your 4th person doesn't exist, indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal. The real criminal. And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal identity was kindly provided for us, right at the beginning of the trial, no less. But what? Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Sorry. Remember what I said. The 4th person who swapped the card made one crucial error. He or she wasn't considering the color and the back of the cards. Right. But how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last card game was red. Yet, there is one person here in our court who thought those cards were blue. Yeah, I had that impression too, but why? Well, Apollo, I think you can figure out who it was. It's not me, I swear. Who is it? This 4th person. Why do I always get put up in the spot like this? Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the card? The only person. The person has to be Christoph. Well, why would we believe him? He's supposed to be helping us. He's supposed to be on our side. She's smart. He's an idiot. He's dead. And he's the one helping us. So he's the only other option. Alright. As I expected, your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right? Christoph Gavin, you were the 4th person that night. But of course, Mr. Gavin knows the colors of the card. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue, the one on the floor or the table. But look, you can see the color in this photo. Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was before this evidence came to light. It's true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim, yet it was only that a game in the purest sense, a competition, Your Honor. A competition, yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame. No, it's the final outcome. Well, Mr. Christoph? Mr. Gavin? Mr. Gavin, is something the matter? No. Nothing. Excuse me, it was just so sudden. Right. You aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Christoph. You know even I'd never take a joke this far. This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity. The defendant accuses his own defense attorney of murder? I assure you, I'm quite sane. But what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim? I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met. Well, what if they have? Huh? There's a possibility after all. They may have met that night before the game started. What are you suggesting? Is this the truth Mr. Wright was saying silently about? We only have one thing to do, Mr. Wright. The defense would like... What? The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin, testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happen before that game of poker be related? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss Orley. Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright testimony is up to you. Oh, okay. Cool. Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony? Yeah, why not? I like Mr. Wright, and I don't like Gregory or whatever his name is, Gavin. This was Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along, and I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. It to justice. You would betray me, your teacher. I'm sure, Mr. Gavin, this isn't about loyalty. It's about the truth. Right. This ain't about the friendship and all that jazz. Very well. The defendant, Mr. Wright, would like to stand, please. Appetite before murder. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in the photograph. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was unconscious. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call. The defense attorney, Gavin. Did you hear the phone call? Did you hear the ring? Mr. Gavin, you were at the Borscht Bowl Club that night of the murder? I dinner with him rather frequently. And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder? Quite against my will. I had become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, Wright? Just before you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I wanted is the truth. As I did back then, and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong. Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Justice? Sir? He's lying, and you're going to expose him. Huh? Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mrs. Wright? This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? Classic. Poor Justice. Poor Mr. Justice. Can't get a fucking break. Appetite before murder. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in the photograph. Shadiness. So, what's Phoenix's tell? Phoenix has to have a tell when he's lying. Can I ask you about this? Did you hear a phone call? Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin? I'd obviously gotten involved in a rather sticky affair. I figured Christoph's law office would give me a friend rate for my defense fees. Glad to hear you intend to pay. Oh, I'll pay in full, Christoph. It was I who got you involved after all. You may find the price of our defense quite high, my good friend. Quite high. Is this the truth that Mr. Wright was talking about? Justice, you know what you have to do. He's lying, expose him now. Alright. Testimony, the truth has to be in there somewhere. Okay, so you sat at the table, walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. Trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. Knocked out cold, and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. From his forehead. Can I ask you about this? He made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant. Correct? Exactly. Cell phones don't get signal down in the hideout. Else on the first floor at the time? Not a soul. It's the middle of the night, after all. So they're in the dark, and the restaurant called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from his forehead. And when you returned, the victim was already dead. Yes, I'll admit, I was a little strained when I walked in. Startled when I walked in. A little. He was bleeding from his forehead after all. I guess I'd be startled too if I walked into a scene like that. Oh no. Evening Kristoff and I had dinner. Can we talk about this dinner? What did y'all eat for dinner? Appetite for murder, huh? You had dinner with Mr. Gavin? Why did you have dinner with Gavin? Was he dining with me at the board? Quite often. Okay. Enjoying a usual dinner at our usual spot as usual. I always eat at the table close to the piano. I see. Where Mr. Smith was sitting. So the plate and such on the table was from your dinner? Indeed. The remnants of the meal with Kristoff. We dined for 2 hours, then Kristoff left after that. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. 5 minutes after Kristoff left. Interesting. After 5 minutes. The two of them could have passed in the restaurant during the time. Would have been a fatal encounter. Objection! Oh, Mr. Wright. What was it you said? Kristoff, Gavin, and Shady Smith may have met? I believe I did say that. Here I was all nervous about this meeting. And now we hear that it's just passed in the hall? It does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder. Oh, it would be. If that were all that really happened. Come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time? When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. Trap. Let's talk about this trap again. About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga Orley mentioned. Yeah, the one with the card in his pocket. Mine was failed. Elegant relief. Sir. The trap was failed. Just plant the card. Put it in his pocket before. Deal 5 card. Field. You swap the card. Legend would be dashed to pieces. Yes. Harmless prank in essence. It would be a quiet quirk of fate that I happened to discover it. Happened. Put my hand in my pocket and found a card. Press you planted. Yes, I snuck a peek at it. The 5 of hearts. You said a 5 of hearts? Let me check the court record. See if there was a 5 of hearts somewhere. I don't see a 5 of hearts anywhere. I see a 7 of hearts on your thing. Is there a 5 of hearts on the ground somewhere? Not that I could tell. Disposed where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice that had been right beside me. Threw the card inside the bottle. An empty bottle of grape juice, huh? A murder weapon? I don't see anything in the bottle. Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass made hard to see. A bottle of wits. Battle of wits between the deceiver and the deceived. That sounds like a terrific drama. Card inside the murder weapon? That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe. I'll take a look. Mr. Wright, the pokerhead. The court number 3 approves of this battle of witness. Pokerhead. Please revise your testimony with the new information. Cover the trap during the game and expose the card into a bottle. So let me see this bottle again, right? I missed it earlier, but we'll check again. Shoved it in the bottle, but I don't see anything in a bottle here. It's literally empty. No, this is not the murder weapon. The murder weapon didn't have a lid on it. That's the murder weapon there. I gotta try. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes. I've examined the bottle and I didn't see any card in there. No. What? Mr. Wright, surely isn't all you have to say for yourself. I can't say that I know what happened to the card. But I did put it in that bottle, however. Huh? Perhaps a 5th person came and took it out. Oh, and a 6th person could have helped. Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client. My apologies, Your Honor. I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside the bottle and there was nothing. So what's going on? Mr. Wright hoodwinked us again. Or did the card just disappear? In any case, please continue to cross-examination. I'm afraid deceiving contradictions call for decisive evidence. Oh, push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. Ugh. Why do I get the feeling we're not in our clients? Blah, blah, blah. At dinner, sat at the table, and the photographer said he walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left and discovered the trap inside the bottle. It was knocked out cold, and Smith was... Okay, so... Did I miss something? Excuse me. Card disappeared. Where did the card disappear to? This is a whole magic trick. Where did the card disappear to? Where did the card disappear to? It was a 5 of hearts. 5 of hearts. Nobody has 5 of hearts on the table. I don't see it in this picture. I don't see it on this man, his corpse. I don't see it in the bottle. It's not in the bottle. The bottle is completely empty. It's an empty bottle. It's the most emptiest bottle I've ever seen. 5 of hearts not in the murder picture. Death blood the head. Not on the deck here. Nowhere near on the deck. I can't check anything else about this phone, huh? Reader. Gameplay. Audio. Alright. I'm a little lost. I wish I had some viewers right now to help me. But as a solo streamer who currently doesn't have too many views, I'm gonna have to help myself. When I returned, he was dead. Bloodstream cut his head, was knocked out cold, and Smith is uncontrollable. Left boots off. Shooting Smith walked in 5 minutes. The event evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. In this photograph is what you're talking about. What a fucking strange magic trick. Whoa! Hey, what's up? What's up tomorrow night? What's up? Long time no see. I'm having a lot of trouble. Having a bit of trouble in this game. I'm trying to figure out who killed this man. It wasn't this guy. Trapped during the game and disposed of the card. Girl was knocked out cold and Smith isn't control. Hit this man one more time with this one in the bottle. I perceived my opponent's intent immediately. Used the entrapment, and you see, I knew what was coming. Oh, so you struck first. I thought, like, I know every trick in the book. I know work on me. At least when I got lucky and sticked your hand in your pocket, they didn't. God damn it. He seems sus. This is the guy from the first game. This guy right here is from the first game. He can't do it. He couldn't have done it. But we have to figure out. We're on the last part of this mission. Almost there. He dines with me frequently, enjoying usual dinner, casual dinner, usual casual. I always eat at the table close to the throne seat. Smith is sitting, so the plates. See, here's. Let me explain the situation that's happening with this character right now. He said they were playing poker at the table. He got cheated. They tried to trick him by putting a false card in his pocket, so they could check him and go like, "Hey, you cheated," by putting a false card in his pocket. And he decided to hide the card in a bottle. The bottle in question is this one. He said he hid it in there, but they ain't got no goddamn card in there. Like, we examine it, completely empty. There ain't no goddamn card in this damn thing. I've checked the top, I checked the bottom, I even threw it at him. Check it out, I'm gonna throw it at him again. I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of it in the card in the bottle. Throw the card in it, boom. Right. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes, I've explained the bottle and I didn't see any card in there. No. What? Mr. Wright surely isn't all. Say for yourself. I can say that I know that what happened to the card. I did put it in the bottle. However, perhaps a fifth person came and took it out. Oh, or a sixth person came and helped out. Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client. I apologize, Your Honor. So apparently somebody took out the damn card out of the bottle. This whole thing is a freaking magic trick. We looked inside the bottle and there was nothing. So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear? What if... Please continue your examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions fall for decisive. So here's my thinking process. I think the card is evidently in another bottle. And I see bottles in this picture. Look at these bottles on his left right here. On his right. What if I did a little bit of this? Nope, that's not right. This evidence clearly revealing contradiction. Nope. Ah, shit. Please think of facts over before making accusations. I don't want to look up. I don't want to cheat before. I don't want to cheat on the first trial. Just knocked out Cole and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. Let me ask him about this part again. You made the call to the police on the first floor of the restaurant, correct? Exactly. Cell phone calls don't get the signal down the hideout. Was anyone else on the first floor at the time? Not a soul. It was the middle of the night after all. So there in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. Didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone. What is this expression of his? I tried the police from the first floor. But he called the police again. He made another phone call. He made another phone call to Gavin. He never talked about this phone call. Notify the police. Could you explain why you called Gavin? I'd obviously gotten involved in a rather sticky situation, blah 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 blah. Got involved. Price of the defendant quite high. Truth. So exposing him. Now, yes, sir. I have to think, what's Mr. Wright trying to tell me with this testimony? Truth has to be in there somewhere. The card. Where's the card? 5 minutes after Kristoff left. 5 minutes after. We have time. 5 minutes after Kristoff left. It's a 5 of hearts. And I can't find the 5 of hearts. Did I press everything? What about this one? 5 minutes after. Yeah, so the two of them come passing during the restaurant. A fateful encounter. Hee 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 hee. Oh, Mr. Right, what does this say? Kristoff and Gavin Smith have been never met. I believe I did say that. Here I was all never meeting, and now we're here just saying passing in the hallway. Well, weak as a presence to murder. What would have been that really happened? Come on, Mr. Right. What are you hiding this time? Wait a second. Wait a minute. You think somebody swapped out the bottle? He was dead. Blood streaming from the cut on his forehead. Press this again. And when you returned, the victim was already dead. Yes. I'll admit, I was a little startled when I walked in. A little? He was bleeding from his forehead after all. I startled when I walked in. Same crime. Hold up. Press this button. Again. Why in the bottle? Perceiving my opponent's intentional meaning, I'm used to entrapment. You see, I knew what was coming. Oh, so you struck first, like that. I knew every trick in the book. They didn't work on me. At least when you get lucky, stick your hands in the pockets, they didn't. Dude, that's all you gotta say for that? Kristoff and I had dinner. Shady walked in 5 minutes after, discovered a trap during the game, and disposed of it in the bottle. Girl walked, knocked out cold, and Smith forehead. But why is your fingerprints on the bottle? La 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 la. Can we get a time stamp on this? No, we can't get a time stamp on this. But why? Blood streaming from his forehead. Oh my god! I'm gonna have an aneurysm. I might have to cheat on the first chapter. I'm not weak. However, I don't know what the fuck everyone is talking about. Not a soul in the middle line. There was a darkness in the middle. Made the defendant. Yeah. So you made a call. Damn it. Alright. We're gonna cheat. We're gonna cheat. We're gonna chiselly cheat. We're gonna chiselly cheat, bro. We're gonna chiselly cheat. We're gonna cheat. On the first mission, man. Do not tell me that I'm weak for this. Ding 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 ding. Ace Attorney, Apollo, Justice Walkthrough. Oh. I figured it out. I figured it out. I didn't cheat. I figured it out. I figured it out. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Ah, fuck. I figured it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Statement 5. He walked in. There we go. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes. Take a look at the photograph at the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point. Justice, next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Mr. Wright, can you explain to this court? I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put the hat on his head. Huh? You? You put the hat on the dead man's head? You wore it through your entire poker game. After calling police, when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view, shining bright, just like in his photograph. And I picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head. What did you... Why would you do that? All I can say is, I'm sorry. But that's the only thing I touched at the scene of the crime. So Miss Orley didn't see it? It being the victim's head? I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Here we go again. Mr. Gavin? Pardon. It's just to seem our client is determined to lie his way through the case. Hey, he's still our client, isn't he? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin, this witness testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you could come to lose your attorney's badge over 7 years ago. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Christoph. I never knew. Believe it though, it was you who threw the first stone. Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. Huh? When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on his head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. Oh, a reason? That reason is right here. Your cell phone? That night, recall that I spoke with Dr. Attorney Gavin after calling the police. In case I recorded our conversation. What's this? Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Alright, now we got somewhere. Christoph, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that. What gentleman? That gentleman who challenged you? He turned out to be good? He turned out to be dead. Whoa, someone hit him hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china plate? It wasn't you, was it? Me? Please, the cops shouldn't be here any minute. Should be here any minute. I'm in your hands, should it come to that. Bone china plate. A kind of porcelain, very smooth and shiny, and not plate, but pate. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's bald forehead. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Okay, no one's talking about you. Wait a second, something's not right about that call. So after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left Borscht Bowl Club. Most certainly. Then how did he know? When did he see this bone china pate? Oh, that's right. Yes, that was when I began to see my true friend in a different light. Certain, troubled, I returned to the crime scene, and when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain how this report, exactly how did you become by your privately known knowledge of the victim's head. So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it, Phoenix Wright? Order. I will have order. Mr. Payne? Yes, Your Honor. I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear the defense attorney Gavin's testimony? Oh, Gavin's gonna get on the patio or whatever? Well, as the prosecutor, Very well. I will break for 10 minutes, after which Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that? Crystal clear, Your Honor. Very well. This will be the final recess for the day. April 20th. Still 4:20. 2:32 p.m. Was that chosen? Did we choose that for funny reasons? April 20th? For the first mission in this game? 4:20? Is this a Wii joke that I'm missing? And what's with this drawing in the background? What's with this bald old man with staring into the sun? I don't remember that being a staple of the previous Phoenix Wright games. Ace Attorney. Who'd have thought today would turn out like this? May I? Who are you? Huh? What? Hello, sir. Please pick a card. What's all this about? Oh, is this the one? Okay. Excellent. I have a message for you. The last card, the last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it. A trump card? The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely, and the game is yours. That's all? Whoa, an ace. Who do I remember this card from? Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces and Mr. Wright's 2. 3 aces. Oh. 5 aces in all. It's true, I have seen it. The 5th ace. It's cheating, I swear to you. The missing 5th ace. Wait, this blotch of green. Is this blood? You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the 4th. My father's fate was in your hands. I knew you can do it. The bloodstained card is my trump card for finding the truth. I fell deep into thought as my mind raced and understood what this all meant. That girl? I'd seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. The locket. Oh my goodness, she is a child of the Ace Attorney man himself. Bloody Ace added to the court record. Now it's just Apollo versus Payne. Court will now reconvene. Defense Attorney Christoph Gavin will please take the stand. Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. Well, the witness stated his name and occupation? Is this farce necessary, Your Honor? Believe me, far stranger things have gone on. Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. Fine, I'll play along. First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat? My secret? By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald. Forgive my curiosity, but what is it that about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it. Whoa. Oh yeah! I wouldn't call it an Oh, they bring the song. Dun dun ding 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 dun dun dun. Alright. I'll calm down. I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Wright. What do you think you're doing, Wright? Wow, things are sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off, except for that one time. That one time being the instant he was hit. Oh, when Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was laying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you wouldn't have to have been there in the hideout at the time of the crime. In other words, I must be the real killer, is what you're trying to say. Not bad, Apollo. Oh, that's a creepy ass laugh, Mr. Gavin. I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court. What? Oh, I assure you I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation, I see little reason to hide anything. Very well. Allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of the fatal night? Okay, let's go. That fatal night. The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club and went down to the basement and peeked through the little window in the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo. Bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, so I left. That's when the call came from Wright. So, you witnessed the murder. For better or worse, I missed the actual moment of the dead. Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defense team. Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client. What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness's stand after all. So you are Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through the little window. Mr. Wright? La 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 la. Sorry, I just wanted to charge my DS because I'm gonna go out and play it later. I had to say that because that was the only probable window of the opportunity, right, Apollo? Oh, I see what he did there. Window. Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Wright, are you prepared? Mr. Justice, are you prepared? Yes, Your Honor. I can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin, my teacher. This trial is getting weirder and weirder. For the first trial, pretty cool. That fateful night.
The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window in the hideout.
Can you tell me about this window? Little window? You mean the one used to keep the watch at the stairs? Yes, a relic of the ancient past. The Black Marketeers used it, I believe. Why did you go through the trouble of peeking in through the window? Wouldn't it have been easier to just open the door and go into the room? I didn't want to upset Mr. Wright, you see. Upset Mr. Wright? Yes. What if my fears had been unfounded? I'd be walking in on their match. Bad form, to say the least. So far, everything he says makes sense. La 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 la. How did you know it was right after the murder? Well, no need to shout, Justice. I was just getting to the part in my testimony. There he is. The coolest defense in the West. I love that phrase. The coolest, insert something here, in the West. That is my favorite phrase we know and love. Even when you're standing up there on the witness stand, some things never change. I was afraid you'd change too, Mr. Wright, but you haven't. Look at that little smirk on his face. You and that overbearing personality of yours. With friends like these, who needs enemies? The victim was dead as he appears in the photo. Bald head, unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, so I left. That's when I called. Oh, so wait. I believe he's lying in this one. Doing a little gesture with his head there. Those are the only three at the scene of the crime. Yes, as far as I could see, at least. Then we're back where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could have been? But why did you talk to the police? 2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after doing that I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend. There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime. Justice, I just said I saw no one, not a soul. But that goes against what Mr. Wright said. I see, yes, this mysterious fourth person. Who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose? Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin. Let me pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap cards in the victim's hand? Perhaps you could show us a reason why, such such a thing would be necessary. How could I show something? I can't. Oh, remember Apollo? The card that was swapped out. Yep, the 5th ace. Right. Mr. Justice, the question of why the killer would swap out a card has been raised. Can you point the reason? Oh yeah, I can show some evidence. I got it from a little girl recently. When the card was strapped. Go ahead and point out your reason, Mr. Justice. Why did the killer take the 1st ace? Because there was blood on your card. The reason is this. Is that an ace? Why? Why? It's got blood on it. Right needs to. What? What? Oh, look at that smirk of his. This is insane. Why wasn't I told about this? Why? Could this be the missing card? The 5th ace? Oh yeah. An inconvenience. How could you? What are you doing with that card? Well, that's the thing. Why is Mr. Gavin so upset? It's just a fishy card from the fishy girl. Oh, that card? It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Bowl Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock and trade after all. Objection! Oh, he's objecting on the witness stand? Oh, you got something going on, buddy. Look at the twitch on his face. Look at the twitch on his face. He's twitching. No, impossible. Unacceptable. The court can't accept this evidence. It's fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? What? I would think the only person who could claim it was fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene themselves. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime? Where are you going with this? Take another look at the photo and the victim's head. Oh, blood is traveling upward. I don't know. I can't explain why the blood. Wound is in the fellow's blood. The trickle of blood ran from the forehead down to the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of blood have fallen on one of the cards? Suppose. The killer then took the card to hide the blood. Regardless, that evidence is non-permissible. Oh, right. Regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence. Oh, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question. What are you talking about? You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the scene of the crime, and now I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see? This is baseless conjecture. Baseless. Ooh, that was Ace. That was Apollo. No, that was Phoenix. Oh, I assure you, it's quite based. Oh, it's quite based, bro. That is based. But what? It's amazing, really, how a single drop of blood on a single card leads us to the truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo? Yes. Try picturing the scene of the crime. Here we go. The murder took place in the hideout. The body of the luckless victim was found in the poker table, and before the killer swapped the card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's head. Given this, there's one decisive problem with the scene. Well, what is it? Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on the card, which position in this diagram does it fit? Victim kill, second. The killer is the witness, the second. Wait. Whose position doesn't fit with the bloody card? I think the victim. Because if the card was there, I think the victim. Well, isn't the victim's position the problem? I don't follow your logic, Mr. Justice. Well, look, the victim was struck in the head, sending him back in his chair. Oh, he was facing the opposite direction, like this. So he was opposite the table, got smacked in the head, bashed backwards, blood dripped, landed on a card on the table. Then someone swapped his body, turned his body around to face the table again, and then blood was just dripping from the back of his head away from the table, which originally was not that. Take a look at the photo. And there's swivel chairs too. Blood would fall on the floor, not on the cards. Exactly. Why is that right? So, what does this mean? Incidentally, we're sitting in swivel chairs. Swivel chairs? I knew it. Swivel chairs. Oh man. Paulo tried turning the chairs around. Yeah? Oh. Chair was facing the other way. It would have been someone was in that closet. So we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table. When Mr. Wright returned from informing the police, which was in the chair facing, when I came back to the room, the body was facing as seen in this photo. That would mean the killer turned the chair back around. Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We know now the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder, but this creates another significant contradiction. Again? Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Paulo, whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the seconds? Contradiction. This guy. The killer! Can we say the killer? It's probably the killer. The victim was struck from the front, correct? Indeed. Well, wouldn't it be hard for the victim, the killer, to hit from the front, sitting where his indicator currently is? I would think it'd be quite hard, yes. Alright, Payne, your annoying voice strikes again. Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of the game? I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light. What? There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Paulo, the victim was struck while he was sitting as shown here. Where would his assailant be standing? Try marking it on the diagram. What? But there's no reason to put a mark. Where's the killer should be? Don't worry. Let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim was facing towards the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Where would the victim have be standing to strike a victim? In front of the victim. He's standing right here. You got points for flair, but that's about all you get. I thought I was on something here. I hardly need to point out that standing there would be impossible. The victim is facing a solid cardboard. Or are you claiming the victims climbed the cardboard and hit him from above? It's simple logic, really. If this was the only place the victim could have been standing, then that means that at the very moment of the crime... Wait, I know. At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there. What's that now? I mean, that's the only explanation, right, Gavin? Your Honor, I have to suggest for the defense, we should arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout immediately. Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard. Your Honor? What? There's one more thing you men should look for. Please give them this. Please give this to the bailiff. Yeah, okay. I see. You do belong to the courtroom after all. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright. I do my best. Oh, shit. Dude, Phoenix is real. I think Phoenix deserves the N-word pass. But let's forge ahead here while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. If the killer was standing here at the time of the crime, then this cupboard wasn't here. Which means, Apollo, try moving the cupboard. I'm gonna move that cupboard. Yeah, I'm gonna move it. Yeah, I'm moving good. Yeah, thank you. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it had been as shown here. Now everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my. this? What is it now? Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found out another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction. What I believe to be... Oh, shit, he can't see anything from that wall. Notice anything, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion. Now then, Mr. Apollo. Come on, Mr. Justice, please point the new contradiction indicated. Is it the victim, the killer, the witness, or the second witness? The second witness, bro. Look at that man. He can't see shit from that window. It's blocked by the cupboard. About this cupboard. Are we all okay with assuming it moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover up the window for the stairs. Ah? That's right. Someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin. What? What did you say? Oh, is the coolest defense in the West losing is cool? Didn't expect me to play along with your little games, right? It's all only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was while the window to the room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court exactly where did you witness the crime scene from? Excuse me, Your Honor. Order. This is a court of law, and I will have order. Well, we just now received word from our investigation team at the Borscht Bowl Club. They have examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor. Oh, and what did they find? Well, Your Honor, turns out there is a secret passage behind it. What? A secret passage behind the cupboard? Yes. I believe I mentioned something at the sort of before. This is one of the tricks to the room many of our regulars know about. I do remember him saying something about that now that he mentions it. A secret passage is a handy way to have when you're engaging in illegal goings-on. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So the room has a secret passage where it goes to. Ooh. The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld boss could get away from the cops and enjoy a cold brew of borscht. No doubt. Just like our killer. You see where our line of simple deduction reasoning has led us, Apollo? I see it, but I don't believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked, and the victim's hat was only off his head for the few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright returning from the call from the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. While Mr. Gavin, come on, say something. Dare I ask what really happened that night? Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith. A date with destiny. There he crouched, hidden in the secret passage behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then the chance came, and he took it. He busted a nut! People farted, people died, there was poop everywhere. Blood! Blood in the poop! Blood in the poop! What? What did you say? Miss Olga Orley was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. Then our killer stepped out from the secret passage and hid into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding outside. He wheeled his chair around and took out. And after the deed was done, the crime must have been seen. The criminal had seen the blood on the card and would have, of course, realized he needed to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood took the whole story of the crime. Too bad for him, he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the card on the floor, and then the fact that they were all red. Already. That's the noise he made. He went, ugh. That's how you pronounce it. N-G-G-K. Ugh. Well, it seems this trial has taken another turn. I'm truly sorry I had to do this day come. I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. You said come. Mr. Gavin? Mr. Payne? I mean, yes, Your Honor. The prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion. Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to insert a warrant for your arrest. Immediately! Ooh, what? Who said objection? Gavin? Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin? Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber would be taken in by such a low-grade parlor trick. Excuse me? The defendant is clearly of all suspicion. This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else, and not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney. The legal evidence? Ooh. Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin, is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course, this bottle, for instance. The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking? How do you intend to explain why the fingerprints on the murder weapon, and not just any fingerprints? Am I right, Mr. Payne? Actually, yeah. The fingerprints on the bottle were upside down. I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. The court in this case demands an explanation. I can think of only one reason why it would hold the bottle upside down, and that is to hide someone with to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor, I see how the caught fish squirms to the last. Well, Apollo? Yes, your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still, but I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation. Just like that. Yeah. Just like what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down other than to to kill someone? Don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legitimate one. Is there really another? Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there in plain sight. Let me look real quick. The court record? I'm thinking about these bottles here. I'm thinking about these bottles right here. I'm thinking about these bottles, and then I'm thinking about this bottle too. Alright. How about you just say the answer in plain words? It would be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions indeed. Well, Mr. Justice, Mr. Gavin said that the court in this case demands an explanation. Don't worry, Justice. Won't leave until justice is done. Perhaps the defense would care to enlighten the court. What evidence do you have to explain why the fingerprints on the bottle are upside down? Is it because the bottle was facing away from Phoenix? Is it because Phoenix was drinking the bottle in this one? Could it be because of that? Oh, okay. If you want to pick up a bottle, you have to like grab it from this direction, right? Because like, look at this image. Look at this image. Bottles are in the thing right over there, right? Bottles are over there. Obviously. And if he wants to pick it up, you gotta like, you gotta put your hand down like this. Pick it up like that. You can't just like, I mean, I guess you can do that. But why? Whatever. Fuck it. I'm probably wrong. It's actually easier to show you than explaining, Your Honor. Place that bottle on the floor next to your chair. Oh, on the floor? You know, I was right. I was right. You'd have to pick it up like this. Look, there's a bottle. I got a bottle right here. I put it on the floor. Let me show you how I would pick it up. Pick it up like this. Upside down. I wouldn't do this. I mean, I guess I would, but like, that's a lot of work. Without getting out of your chair. Huh? See, you naturally go pick up the bottle by its neck. With your fingers upside down. God, justice. Justice. Look at this photo taken in the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here playing his piano. Bottles, grape juice on the floor to the side of the piano bench. He would naturally picked up the bottle and sit down several times. Woo! I can't believe it was that simple. Recall your dinner that night, Christoph. Recalling? I was drinking my usual juice then too. Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed. But then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano, and you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon. Order, order, order! What do you have to say to the changes, Mr. Gavin? Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney framed tactic of misdirection. What? You claim that I switched the bottles. Where's your proof? What? Proof? Well, that's the... As I thought, Mr. Baseless Conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty. Ooh. Wouldn't it be... I wouldn't be so sure about that. Your Honor, when you initiate the investigation of the hideout earlier, did you recall requesting an additional investigation? Yes. I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano. Okay, and here's one of the bottles in question. What are you going to dust off her fingerprints too? If any were on that but his, Mr. Gavin probably would make such a novice mistake true. Say, Apollo. Yes? Why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle? But why? Just humor me, Mr. Wright. That bottle will solve this case once and for all. What? Some bottle. Oh, it's got the card, the 5 of hearts, the one we're looking for, the one we needed. There's something inside the bottle. The 5 of hearts. What's this? That card. It can't be. This is only from earlier. Miss Olga Orley? Yes, our little swindling debauch. That night I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Mr. Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. Wait, this isn't... You telling me that this is the planted card you disposed of? The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of this card before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right before me. I threw the card inside the bottle. Bam. Bam. The 5 of hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped, and the one who could have done that was the 4th person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. Ooh. 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 Oh! That is all. Gavin might be a psychic. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright? Revenge? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago? My past is like my logic, straight and true. Nothing changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little tit-a-tate. Tate-a-tate. I remember seeing this for the first time. Tate-a-tate. Tit for tat. Tate-a-tate? Tit for tat? Trade-off is what it means. This is insane. What about me? I don't get to prosecute anyone. I don't get to prosecute anyone. Alright, Payne. I believe this time we finally come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us and Christoph Gavin? Yes. He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now. I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he? None that we know of. Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. About this victim, Mr. Shady Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler. And an ad profession, to be sure. And that's all we know about him. I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor. Good. Mr. Wright? Yes? 7 years. And you still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me, both as a friend and a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed 2 things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated, this courtroom. Second was a man who would tolerate no justice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo. Me? This is a dark time for our legal system. A twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial trial system. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright, our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright,
Not guilty. Yay! Yay!
Court is adjourned.
Yay!
Aw, man. 8 minutes? 8 minutes before PM? Bro, we missed it by 8 minutes. We would have had ourselves a 420 at 4:20 PM. Thanks, Apollo. You came through, just like I thought you would. I'm pretty sure I didn't do anything in there. It was you who cornered Mr. Gav, the killer. I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too, didn't you? Your ability. Ability? Yes, a sensation, a sensitivity I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough. Wait, I wonder if he means... I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defense hit the victim. Is that true? Of course it's true. That feeling? What was that, Mr. Wright? You'll have to find the answer to that question yourself. The answer? Right. Today was the first full of questions without answers, most of them about Gavin. What possibility, reason, had to commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Huh? What? You don't know, do you? This locket is the key. Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl who pictures in the locket. Your daughter, right? That's right. She's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. Huh? I took this off his neck the night he died, but it looked like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. Wait, but that's perjury. You testified, you said that locket was yours. I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth. Wait, but then why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it? sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still just getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin's law office after all. I can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs. Apollo? Yes? How about coming to work for me? You mean at the Wright & Co. law offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it. I can't imagine that to be true, but... Wait. But didn't you... You're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge, yes. I'm not an attorney anymore. But do you want to explain yourself? That incident 7 years ago. That legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man, Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion, and he left law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in a court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice, in today's trial, there was a single piece of forged evidence? Forged evidence? What are you talking about? I'm talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. Huh? One piece of evidence struck me as odd. It's true. It just seemed, well, too perfect. I'll bet this was the evidence. Was it this? Was it my attorney badge? Am I not an attorney? Is this... You mean this? Don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright. Yes, that card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left, leaving the wrong card in this place. Luckily for us. Except this evidence is a fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene, the real killer. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then, you really... Yes, I forged this card. One like that the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that. You call yourself an attorney. Who's calling himself an attorney? Apollo. So it's true. The rumor is true. Bro, this is literally my theory. All heroes eventually become villains. Eventually, the world will turn on them, and they will do wrong. They will do wrong to do right on them. That's just how it is. 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it? I gotta poop. I punched him. You punched him? Damn. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office address, drop in if you'd like. Mr. Wright. Oh, about your uppercut? Try yelling, "Take that!" Next time, I find it packs a little more punch. And Apollo, thanks for today. Oh, look at his cute ass face. Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm gonna take a picture of that. That's not a sprite we've seen for a while. That's a smiling Phoenix Wright right there. Thanks for today. I had a good time. And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door, and that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved, and at the time I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I'd find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law, and this is my story's beginning. This is how my story begins. The end. Oh yeah. Oh. Turnabout Trump. Alright, boys. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. And with that, I will thank you guys for hanging out with me today. It's your boy Kami Kang. Thank you for the hang. Can't wait to play chapter 2 of this amazing adventure. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, my mom. Thank you, my dad. Thank you, my granny. Thank you, my cousin. Thank you, my friends. Thank you, Mega Finch. Thank you, Prodigy Finch. Thank you, who else do I have to thank? The amazing gang. Thank you for everybody on the Patreon. Thank you. If you want to catch this video, I'm going to try to post it on the YouTube channel tonight. Try. Emphasis on try. I'm going to try to do a lot of things in life, but sometimes you can't really get everything done. But for now, once again, thank you for the hang. It's your boy Kami Kang, signing out. Bang bang.